Oh, hi there. This is Java Jim with First Line Equipment. Drinking some Cascara tea. Look that up. Figure out what it is. We don't sell it, but this is actually one of my beverages. That's similar to coffee, but it's tea. Anyways, we have the bottom side of the Bellezza Bellona dual boiler espresso machine, version 2. And what we're going to go over today is how to descale the steam boiler. Okay, and why are we going over the steam boiler, not the coffee boiler? The coffee boiler is very easy. You put some descaling solution in the reservoir. That's typically a glass container behind the machine, runs through a hose, and you run it through the group head. And when you do that, you leave it for a couple hours, and then you could flush it with fresh water. Of course, clean out the container, fill it up with water. And typically, if it's a 300 cc or a 400 cc boiler, you're going to flush it out with twice the amount of water, and 3 times is even better. So you're looking at about 800 to 1,000 cc's of water to clear that out. Now, on version 1, with the hot water spigot, you can get descaling solution into the steam boiler and pretty much out of the steam boiler with a lot of flushing. Version 2, guess what? The steam boiler doesn't flush water or hot water from the bottom of the boiler through the hot water wand like you do in version 1 and a lot of other machines. So what did Bellezza put? For putting the solution in the steam boiler and also for getting it out, a drain plug that's right here. Okay, it's a 13 millimeter nut. I'm not going to go over the process, so I'm going to explain it. Get a cloth, put it on your countertop, and even put some here in case you have some wood. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay it on the side that you see here where the nut here is to the top, not the bottom. And the reason is because you have water in there. And you're going to remove that nut. Okay, 13 millimeter socket. Let's get this going the right way. And once you start it, you can remove it. And there is an O-ring on this nut here. And you will have an access port here. Basically, you probably want to get about 6 to 8 ounces of warm water, which is good. Also, before we even go down this route, make sure you unplug the machine. Make sure it's cold, okay, so you don't get injured. You'll get yourself some descaling solution, Descale, which is made by Ernix, American company. I know the originators of the company, the father and 3 sons who started the company. Now they sold it, I guess, to private equity. But this is a very, very strong product. Use it at half the strength because this stuff is powerful. We do sell the stuff from Italy called Puly Cleaner powder. And Descale you can get in a liquid or powder, your choice. I prefer powder. Pulycaf we have as a powder. This I find to be effective and soothing for the machine. It's not as stringent as the Descale. So here you can use full strength. You will follow the instructions here for about 8 ounces of water. You will mix it. You don't have to necessarily use a mixer for cocktails, but you can mix it good. And then once you have that nut off, you're going to lift up the machine. Okay, so it's upside down. And again, on the cloth. And you'll use a funnel to pour in the solution. And I would like you to leave it in there for about 4 to 8 hours upside down. And while it's doing that, or before you flip it right side up, you're going to put the nut back in and you're going to tighten it. Okay, like hand tighten, and then once it's too tight to the touch, just like an 1/8 of a turn to a 1/4 turn, okay? Typically an 1/8 of a turn. Then you will stand the machine right side up. Now, why are we doing it upside down and then right side up? Because there's 2 halves to the boiler. And I don't want you to kind of overfill it. So while it's upside down, it's working the top half of the steam boiler because it's upside down. And now when you turn it back up, you are going to work the bottom half. And again, another 4 to 8 hours. Then, once you get it back to this position, you're going to remove this nut and get some towels on the floor or get some type of basin or container, and you're going to have this nut with the machine right side up, pour all the solution out. Okay, once you do that, you're going to turn it back upside down and you'll try to fill the boiler using a funnel with fresh water. Okay, try to fill it, turn it right side up and drain it. Again, remember what I said in the beginning, 2 to 3 times. You're going to fill the boiler again, let it get rinsed, and then drain it. I prefer 3 times if you can, so you do it 3 times. Fill the boiler upside down, flip it into the basin, and drain it out. Now, what's happened is we've drained out the boiler. So when you drain out the boiler, if you turn on a machine, it's going to call for water because there's a sensor inside saying, hey, I need water. I don't want you to risk the damage to the heating element. Okay, and the heating element can be accessed right through here because there's always potential for damage to the heating element. So you're going to take some fresh water again and put about 6 to 8 ounces in there. So at least the heating element is somewhat submerged in the water so you can't burn it out. Then you'll put the nut back in, make sure it's tight, turn the machine right side up, and let it sit for about an hour to make sure you have no leak. And a test for a leak is just putting a sheet of paper underneath the machine. Okay, and you'll see if there's a leak coming out because the paper will be wet. If there isn't, you're ready to go and your machine is descaled. Now, before I tell you the most important reason why I'm going over this, before that, please subscribe to our social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, and not only subscribe, but also share the information so others can learn on this. And again, this machine doesn't have the output of the hot water wand from the steam boilers, the coffee boiler. Other machines typically share between coffee and steam. So good idea to share and have your friends subscribe to us, be greatly appreciated. And now, why do we say do this? Well, in the past few months, we've had a few customers who, okay, we sold a bunch of these machines, a few customers who've had burned heating elements. And we've had one customer who's going to be watching this video where basically she has a knocking sound, and that knocking comes from limescale or calcium buildup, and it goes poof, poof, it makes a noise inside. So if you hear that noise, you know it's definitely time for descaling. And what happens is when the scale builds up, it can damage your heating element. And what happens is it gets overheated and the filament can break inside the heating element, and then you have no heat. And that's a reason why you want to descale your machine, but more importantly, you want to treat the water so you don't even get the calcium and manganese inside. Okay, and when you do a descaling, you may not even see it because it may be a little bit. And we've seen this, like I said, in less than a handful, where customers have burned up the heating element because of too much limescale. And this can happen. So that's the reason why. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please ask down below. You can also purchase this great machine, nice dual boiler, very, very competitively priced here at First Line Equipment. Thank you. Have a great day and enjoy some Cascara tea. Take care.